LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
Hello, everybody. Darrell, Owens, LegacyMaker Sports Network. We're here, Scott Stadium, week 4 of the NCAA season, and the UVA Cavaliers, number 21 in the country, find a way to come back and win this game against a very tough ODU team. ODU started this game off 17-0, and somehow this team goes out on a 28-0 run, and they're able to get themselves back in this game. What were your thoughts on today's game?
I just felt that UVA was going to find a way to win this game. It's homecoming weekend, and they figured it out in the second half. The offense wasn't clicking early on in the first half, but in the second half, the defense gave them a lot of momentum, and that picked their offense up as well.
Now, talking about that defense, Mr. Snowden had a phenomenal day. He had 2 sacks, but the pressure that this defense brought overall, 6 sacks total on ODU. And like I said, the way the game started, the defense kept them in this game. If it wasn't for the defense, this would have been a whole different story today.
I think the inability to run the ball in the first half for UVA really hurt them. But like you said, in the second half, that defense really got them back on par. And Stone Smart, they pressured him. He threw the pick. That was the pick 6, and that really turned things around. And they was getting to him in the pocket. So he was rattled.
Yeah, I mean, and Smart had such a great first half, and it just looked like UVA didn't have an answer for him. But in that second half, that defense clamped down, and people have been talking about this UVA defense and how good they could be, and we saw a little bit of the night of how that defense won that game. But next week is a tough test. Next week they travel to South Bend to take on, as of right now, number 7 Notre Dame. They're in a dogfight with the Georgia Bulldogs. Notre Dame's going to be a monster. Can this UVA team play like they played tonight and win that game?
I think they can. The pressure will be on them since they will be on the road, but they got to get off to a hot start, take some pressure off of Bryce Perkins, run the football. If they do that and get a little play action going, I think they'll be okay.
I think they went a little bit away from their game tonight at some point. They usually have a really good mix of things. I think they went away from it. But next week is a huge test as this team goes on the road to South Bend to take on number 7 Notre Dame. I'm Darrell Lawrence. This is Ty Montgomery, LegacyMaker Sports Network. The next time you'll see us here at Scott Stadium, it'll be myself and Lamont Thomas as the UVA Cavaliers will be taking on the Duke Blue Devils. Until next time, peace.
Yeah, I'd like to compliment Coach Wilder on what he's done with the Old Dominion team. I think he's recruited really well. I think they're a tough physical team, and they're a team with a strong culture. They came to the University of Virginia to win a football game, and that was apparent right from the beginning. And so it's a tribute to he and his staff as well as their players for how hard they tried and battled. And so, yeah, I was impressed with what he's done with their program. All kinds of learning experiences for our program, and man, playing from behind is a challenge. And we pulled off the comeback, which is way better than the alternative. Defensively, we adjusted faster, mindset-wise and production-wise than we did offensively throughout the day. The blocked field goal could have been much more instrumental than it ended up being, but that certainly has to be shored up. And then the opening play, which was a kickoff that went almost the entire distance. So Old Dominion showed up ready and hungry and eager to play. It took us and our program and my program much longer to reach that same state. I'm certainly happy that we won. We have a lot of work to do offensively after scoring over 30 points the first 3 games in a row and really doing some nice things today. Shows that if it's not just completely dialed in and we're really prepared and on edge, then what the alternative looks like. I was really happy. I thought Bryce Perkins showed a lot of heart. And again, without him, we don't win. The critical play in the game, if I had to name one, was Zane Zandier's interception for a touchdown. That sparked our team. And Charles Snowden, the number and the volume of plays he made, I think was significant. So that's about all I can remember. I'm certainly happy to win. I'll never take that for granted, and I know how hard it is to win any games. And so to have started the season 4-0 is a blessing that our team has earned. It isn't luck, but there's certainly plenty to work on after we saw this one.
Start with Jeff and then Mike.
Once ODU went up 17-0, your defense kind of held you in the game until the offense could make some plays. Why do you think it took the offense so long to get going, and why was it so out of rhythm?
Yeah, I'm really not sure. I looked for signs all week, and so it caught me off guard. I didn't see signs during the week that indicated that our edge might not be on. The looks that we saw tonight in game were the exact same looks that we practiced against. So even though ODU had a bye, there wasn't some now radically new plan that we saw. So our preparation was in relation to what they did. Obviously, we just didn't execute it with the urgency and precision that we needed to, and that's to their credit as well.
You guys all said the right things during the week about Florida State being behind them. Notre Dame they're not worried about. It was just one opponent. Do you think though that was an issue? Were they maybe mentally, emotionally exhausted from last Saturday?
Oh, I think it has to be a contributor, and I don't have any other excuse, nor will I make any. It's hard to be on edge every game for every opponent at the level that you need to, and certainly that's not where we were today. I wish I could say that I saw it coming during the week. I didn't. So, yeah, my job is to try to see it and fix it if we can do it before it happens. But luckily, enough players and enough of the team responded in game to pull a win out, which, yeah, coming back from 17 is not easy. And so before I just hang my head about that, we came back from 17, which is pretty hard to do.
And what did you tell Bryce about when the fumble that got away and he took the big hit at the end? Would you have liked to have seen him maybe just fall on that ball?
Man, that's a good question. Bryce, it's hard to tell him not to try to do anything. He uses good judgment. I trust him. He's trying to help our team win. So I'm really cautious to try to rein him in because he's essential to our success. It makes me love him even more seeing him try to figure out how to make a play.
Two things: who broke the rock, and what was your tone at halftime like compared to what it usually is?
Yeah, Charles Snowden broke the rock. There were kind of two camps, Zane Zandier and Charles, but the simple volume of production Charles had to. We went with him, and I really don't say much. Not only in practice, but in the game. I speak to the team every morning, and I set the tone and I instruct, and that's where I think I'm most effective. Then I advise coaches, and I coach coaches the rest of the time, and I trust them to pass on those messages to the players. Yeah, there's an occasional time I'll say something here or there, and I think at halftime all I said is now that that's over, we'll start playing. And I don't believe in giant speeches, nor do I think they work. So, yeah, it's just my approach.
Bronco, when Old Dominion decided to gamble on the 4th and 1 there, obviously a huge play. What were you thinking to get you guys off guard?
So interesting. Head coaches have to make some tough decisions, and Coach Wilder and their team, they came to win. The other end, we had a scenario where the ball was they replayed the spot and moved it back a little bit, but we were intending to go for it on 4th down, almost the exact circumstance on the other side. And man, you do your best as a head coach to make those choices to go for it, and they did. Man, I'm not sure how many times they went for 4th down today. 2 or 3 maybe, but they went for that one, didn't get it, and that helped us.
I know that you said you love that you guys got the win, but you have some issues with the offense. What was the injury or the situation with Oluwatimi, and what caused the sort of moving around again on the offensive line?
Yeah, his snapping hand got hurt against Florida State, and so yeah, we need to find a center.
Follow up on that. How long do you know how long he'll be out, or how serious that is?
I don't.
How much of an impact on the overall offensive operation do you think that had?
Well, he touches the ball every play, and there's a rhythm and there's communication that certainly is tied to that one player and then everyone around him. And so, but it wasn't like we didn't have preparation time. We had Monday through today to get ready, and we would have preferred to have him at center.
It's probably fair to say that Snowden was something of a project when he arrived here. Would you have thought that 2 years and 4 games into his college career, he'd be where he is right now?
We hoped he would. I think we were the only school that recruited him or offered him a scholarship to play football. He's a very good basketball player. We like long, tall, athletic outside backers in 3-4. And players weren't racing to join our program when we arrived. And he fit all the measurables, but more importantly, he's an amazing, amazing person. And because of that, his work ethic and diligence and conscientiousness with the possibility of becoming and developing is what came together to become the kind of performance he had tonight, which it's who he is that's helped him play the way he does.
In your film study, did you believe Old Dominion would be as difficult to run on as it turned out to be?
We thought that we would be able to move the ball consistently, and we thought we would have similar offensive output as what we had in weeks 1, 2, and 3. That's what we thought would happen, and it didn't. To Old Dominion's credit, they came up, they defeated blocks and made tackles. They covered our receivers tight. They played with very good leverage, and they made it hard to move the ball. And so, yeah, as much as I would like to say it was only us and our performance, I was impressed, and I told Coach that after the game. I thought their defense played really well and made a lot of plays in a very solid plan, but they executed at a really high level, and they were hungry and physical. But we thought prior to it would be a similar output to what we had the first 3 weeks. That's what we thought.
Obviously, it's easy to criticize once it's done, but it seemed like there were a lot of throws, downfield, deep shots. Did it look like that was something that was available in your study?
It did, and we have confidence in our receivers, and so we thought that we would be able to have downfield throws that we would throw and catch and connect on that would help us. And to Old Dominion's credit, they covered them well. They pressured our quarterback well, and those plays didn't work. So, but we thought they would.
And in terms of pressuring the quarterback, for them, Keon White, I think number 6, how disruptive was he, and did you anticipate that kind of an impact?
I did. I was really impressed with him in watching the Virginia Tech game. And if you look just at his size and mobility, and man, he's a really good-looking football player, and he's dynamic and he's fast, and I was impressed with him before we played.
LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.